Hello, I'm John from VABOSS and I'm here today to show you how we install a VABOSS light control unit to a traditional LED high bay lamp, just like this one. You might wonder why we call it a traditional high bay. It's because it looks like a traditional mercury vapour or metal haloid high bay lamp. High in profile, box at the top, reflector at the bottom. That's the only thing it has in common. This has the driver in here, heatsink in the middle, LED underneath, LED array here. And this one is already fitted with a VABOSS lighting control unit. It's in here. That's it sitting in there. So we need to talk about drivers for a moment. Two types of drivers essentially. Standard driver, like this one, power in, power out, that's all it is. Full on, full off. This is a Meanwell, very popular design, Taiwanese design, very popular in the high bay range. This is another one of their drivers, a different shape, made for a different type of lamp. Once again, power in, power out to the LED array. There are two types of drivers, standard and dimmable. What's the difference? Well, as we said before, power in, power out, just two leads, whereas the dimmable one has an extra lead on this end. So this is the power lead in. In fact, its power comes through here, through these blocks, in here and out this end. So there's the same lead as that one. This is the control lead. This is positive and negative control. That's the difference. But there's another difference. Let's put the standard aside. This dimmable driver is using 0 to 10 protocol. That's the age-old standard in after power supply dimming. There's a new protocol, or another protocol. It's called DALI, D-A-L-I, and that stands for Digital Addressable Lighting Interface. And it's a protocol for building-wide lighting control. This is going to take over the market gradually. It's much smarter, does a lot more, and our control unit can do a lot more with this driver. Now I'm just going to talk for a moment about cables. It's absolutely essential that you use the right cables for a VABOSS lighting control unit. It's AWG standard, sized between 22 and 28. There are two options for plugs that plug into the back of one of these control units. One is a micro XH 2.54, which is this big one here, and there's a smaller one. It's a pico blade, it's half the size, and pico blade needs really fine cable. It's 28 AWG, it's very fine. In this instance, we'll leave that aside. In this instance we're using the micro, and we have one already installed in here, which we'll look at. Before we go on to the installation, quickly talk about the control devices. There are three basic models. The standard one, no bulb on the front. This is just ambient. This one manages light. It's called a light harvester. So if you turn the light on, this will just dim the lights up and down to maintain the same light in that spot until you turn it off. These two have this function standard. They have presence sensing as an additional feature. We've got two different types here. This is low bay, small dome, or PIR, large dome, high bay. This one works from about 4 meters up to about 8. This one works from about 7 all the way up to about 14 meters. So you walk into a space, this one will sense you and will turn the light on. When it ceases to observe you, it'll turn the light off. In the meantime, it will adjust the light up and down to maintain the same lux level that you have set for that area. So if you had a storage area where the lux level was maybe 80, when the sun came out and shines through the skylight or through a doorway, this device will turn the light down to maintain 80. If you have an area where you have some precision activity, such as scientific electrical work, you might want a lux level of as high as 400. This device and this device will just maintain that. No matter how much light's coming through doorways, windows and skylights, it'll maintain 400. You won't even notice it. It just dims up and down ever so gently. Okay, now we'll put those aside and we'll wire up the lamp. Okay, so what we have here is our cable in, our control cable in. 4 wires there. They match this. Here we go, red, black on the outside, white next to black. Blue and yellow are the same colour, so that's the same arrangement. Power out, DC, 48 volts. We're going to pick that up here with the control cable. It needs to be, controller needs to have power as we discussed before, so we'll just wire that up. We'll use a quick connector to put it together. That's not the best way to do it. It should be soldered. That's strong enough there. Take the black around underneath like that, and we'll wind that around there like that and pop on a quick connector there and lock that down. So we've picked up our 2 lots of power. The control unit is going to reduce 48 volts down to 12 automatically. Now the next trick is to take the control wires. Remember, the control is pole specific, so we have to have white to white, which is negative, like that. Put on a crimping connector like that. A little squash, crimp there like that. Take another and we'll wind, just lost that. So we'll wind that around like that and slide that in there and crimp it on. So what we've got here is control picked up, yellow and blue is positive, white and white is negative. Now the only thing we need to do is connect up the lamp. Remember before we discussed pole specific, negative and positive. It usually has it written on the PCB. Positive this side, negative this side. Mysteriously, somehow, they both leave the letter A white. One always turns up at the back, so positive that side, positive, and that one that was white's turned out mysteriously comes through as black. Now we pop the black in here into the quick connector, lock that down. The white's the same. LED won't go if you get the polarity mixed up. And there we have that one locked down. So what we've got now is the power out of here, power into the letter A, and we've taken a supply off for our control, and the control wires have picked up the control for the 0 to 10 mean well driver. So there we are. All that needs to happen now is this needs to be put back together and the control plugged in, and it's ready to go. Now when we come back next week, we'll talk about drivers. There's a lot to know about dimmable LED drivers, so we'll spend a little bit of time on them. We're also going to talk in the future about daily installations and their use. Till we see you again. Bye.